I somehow read 6 books in the month of February, even though it was an incredibly short month. I've got some romance and fantasies and even some slasher. Who am I that I actually read slasher? That is a first. Let's keep chatting. Hello and welcome. My name is Ansu, and today I have a little February wrap up. First couple of books I had read for a reading vlog that I just posted very recently, but the first one was The Society of Unknowable Objects by Gareth Brown. This book follows around Magda Sparks, who is in the hunt for a magical object, and there's just a few people who knows about magical things, and they're from this thing called a society. So they generally just go around the world, try to find artifacts or magical objects and protect them from going to the wrong hands. So they bring it to England and store it. Magda Sparks, our main character, goes on a hunt for one of these magical objects, and she goes to Hong Kong, and over there she's almost killed. We soon learn there's so much more to the society, and it is pretty fun. It had a lot of cool themes. The magical system was really fun to see. I haven't really seen anything like it. I thought it was pretty unique, so I had a grand time reading this book. Fantasy was a pretty good one. I give this, I think, 4 stars. The next book I read on my Kindle, and that was The Wild Card by Stephanie Archer. This is the 5th and I believe the final book of the Vancouver Storm series. This is an ice hockey sports romance. This one follows around the coach and the owner's daughter and their little romance. It's kind of like a dislike to like situation, and I really did enjoy this one. I must say, and I've said this in my reading blog as well, it did feel very low stakes. It felt like nothing was really happening in this book. Our coach Tate and Jordan, they kind of bicker a lot. For some reason, they just don't like each other, it seems, and they get to almost become neighbors later on, and they connect quite well. It is a single dad trope as well, and I thought it was really fun. It was very good. It was really fun, but it was very domestic, so I didn't really care too much about it. I think I still give it 4 stars. It was really fun. I was giggling and kicking my feet. It was really cute, I will give it that. But yeah, honestly, it felt like very low stakes. Another romance I read was An Overdue Match by Sarah Monzon. This is a Christian romance, and is my first ever Christian romance. I don't think I've ever read anything like this before. Honestly, it was such a good read. I give it 4 stars as well. The premise of this book was really lovely. Our main character, Evangeline, is a librarian, and she's suffering from alopecia. So she moves into this town, and she's working there. She meets up with this tattoo artist, Ty Davis, who she thinks is a bad boy kind of a character, and she doesn't expect him to be a good person really, just because he's really tattooed up. The romance between these two characters, it's very sweet. Ty is really she's not hunting her down. I want to say hunting her down, and that's not right. Pursuing her, that's the word I'm looking for, not hunting her down. Ty is really pursuing Evangeline, and you can see that yearning romance there, and I thought that was very adorable. Honestly, that's something that everyone needs in their life, and I thought it was so sweet. The one thing I didn't like about this, because it is a Christian romance, it was also trying to state facts. This book felt a little bit too preachy in the sense that because Ty is a tattoo artist, you should not judge a person by their looks or their book by cover, whatever. You shouldn't really judge people. That's the kind of thing that the author was trying to attempt to reach, but it almost felt preachy. There were so many things where the author was trying to talk about the issues that are plaguing the world, and I get it. That was a really nice sentiment. I felt like it was a little overdone, or a lot of things were trying to happen at once. It just felt like a mishmash of a lot of things. It wasn't fully broadened and explored enough. That's why I didn't super love it. Main point of the story is that she is suffering from alopecia, and people judge a lot. But towards the end of the book, once, she's trying to get more comfortable with the fact that she has alopecia, and that doesn't make her any less beautiful, it almost comes across that every single person that she meets is a life lesson, and everyone's like, oh my god, you're so brave. Every single person. I'm just like, that was a little too much. I don't think people interact like that all the time, so I don't know, that just felt a little weird because it was so constant. Because right up until then, anyone who actually saw her would think that she had cancer, and they're like, oh my sweet child, are you okay? How's cancer going? All these invasive questions, and suddenly when she's coming to terms with the fact that, hey, you know what, I have alopecia, but that doesn't make me any less beautiful, that kind of a change in her attitude still led a lot of these people to come into her life who were just random strangers were being super, super weirdly nice, and they were relating to her at some level, and that was a little too much. So that's the only thing. Other than that, the yearning, the pursuing, all of that was so, so sweet. It is a very clean romance, but it does have a good romance, and I really, really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend you guys to read this. It is a Christian romance again, but it's so, so, so sweet, and I would highly, highly recommend it. The next book I read was Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. I've had this book for a while. I mean, it's been like 2-3 years since I got this, I think. Jesus. I just looked at the pricing of this book. It was like $40. I did not buy this for $40. That is ridiculous. Anyway, that is besides the point. Yumi and the Nightmare Painter follows around two different characters. They're from different worlds. You have one world where there's endless night and there's even more darkness across, where there are nightmares that are alive and haunting the people of this world. And the other side is Yumi's world, and this is bright and the sun is always shining. It's beautiful. And Yumi is a person who like stacks stones. The act of stacking stones brings in spirits that work like a genie, essentially. They can grant them wishes in this world. So both of these worlds collide, and the Nightmare Painter and Yumi actually interact with each other. They are almost time traveling, kind of. You have to read this book to really figure that out, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really solid book. Gave this 4.5 stars. The ending of this could have ended differently and I would have been happy with it, but it was just sweet overall. It was a really fun book. Character interactions between Yumi, the Nightmare Painter, and other characters in this book was really fun. I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a solid book. It says it's a cosmic novel, but I don't really think you need to read the million books that Brandon Sanderson has written to get to this one. It really still makes sense. It is fun, and I think you should read it. Next one I read is How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shaylee Thompson. Oh my gosh, this was... If you're looking for a slasher romance, this is it. So ridiculous. It's super fun. If you grew up watching some movies like Scream, I think that plus a little bit of romance, a romantic comedy situation is what this book is, and it's so entertaining. I think it's pretty obvious who the killer is from the start, and I did kind of figure out most of it. And also I've watched the Scream movies when I was really young. That is kind of instilled into my brain, so I kind of figured out what was going on, honestly, so that is not going to be a surprise. But obviously it's a slasher, so there's a lot of blood and gore. Just moments of, I guess, panic where you're just like, what is going to happen next? That kind of a situation, who's going to die? Obviously I feel like our main characters should be safe because it is a slasher, and if your main characters are not alive, I feel like it wouldn't be that entertaining. But also it's a romance, so it has to be that way. It's kind of obvious, but honestly it's just a silly goofy time. You know, don't take this seriously. It's so dumb, but I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. There's so much gore and it was pretty fun. I had a good time reading it. The last book I read was First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. So many people have said that they don't like this one, and I don't understand. B.K. Borison is a very good Christmas author. I think she writes amazing books set in Christmas time, but she does not disappoint with a contemporary romance either. I really, really enjoyed this. I gave this 4.5 stars. Why wasn't it 5 stars? Because it was slightly too long. I don't think it needed to be this long. It falls around Aiden Valentine, who's fallen out of love a little bit, and that's his big secret, but he's also a radio show host for a romance hotline. There's this young girl who calls into the station at night in hopes that Aiden could help her mother out to find romance. Then comes our other main character, Lucy Stone, who's the mother of this child, and Lucy's whole love life comes into scrutinization with the entirety of Baltimore. So Lucy and Aiden start to work together on this radio show, and they figure out what they really want. It's a very, very sweet romance. You can really see the connection between these two characters. And honestly, I think a lot of people didn't love that Aiden was not communicating well. I get it, but I also understand where he's coming from. I totally understood his perspective of why he was like that, and I really felt for him. You know, some people are not going to be fans of it. I totally understand that the communication gap was quite much. It was still very understandable, and personally, I thought it was really fun. By the end of it, I think even Lucy has a backbone. I like both of these characters quite a bit. But you know who really stole the show for me? It was the side character, Jackson. I loved him. Anytime he had some presence in the story, I was obsessed. And that's the second book of the series, and I'm still reading it. But I was obsessed with that character. So this honestly, the side characters really did it for me. So I know some people are not a huge fan of this, but I don't care. I thought it was really good. I give it 4.5 stars. That is it, you guys. I read 6 books. So there's a bunch of romances. I read a couple of fantasies, a slasher romance, and it was a really good reading month. I started getting back into audiobooks, and I think that's something that really helped me to actually continue on reading. So definitely, if you're looking for audiobook recommendations, maybe I can make another video on that, because I've been going through some of them. That is it for today. I'll see y'all next time with another one. Until then, I'll talk to y'all in the comments. Goodbye.